Have you ever seen someone ruin their life in just a few seconds? How did they do it? It took longer than a few seconds, but he did totally screw up his life. We worked in the bullpen at a software support office. A new guy was hired, and he hit the ground running. He was typically the first to arrive in the morning and the last to leave at the end of the workday. He had aspirations to move up the corporate ladder, and was competent and intelligent enough to pull it off. His only quirks were that he always kept his personal laptop on his desk with the screen angled so no one could clearly see what he was doing. It was a relaxed environment. The boss didn't care if we played a video game during lunch, as long as calls were being answered and cases were being closed. One Friday afternoon, instead of working until the boss told him to go home, he wanted to leave a few minutes early. Come 4:45 or so, he was out the door like his butt was on fire and his hair was catching. It was out of character for him, but the rest of us didn't give it much thought. The next Monday, he was nowhere to be seen. The boss called us together for a quick huddle meeting, and informed us that we were to equally divide his caseload among us, and there would be no further discussion about him, period. HR emailed shortly after that any discussion or speculation about him would result in immediate disciplinary action. Later that day, guess who we saw written up in the local newspaper? Turns out he had been communicating with a person he thought was a 13-year-old girl, and had everything set up for a rendezvous with her at a motel in a small town a couple of hours away. When he heard a knock on the door, he was wearing underwear and a smile, had his laptop set up to record what was going to happen on the bed, and had several toys within easy reach, except his 13-year-old girl turned out to be a middle-aged cop with absolutely no sense of humor. The picture posted with the article was clearly him, but it looked like the cops weren't exactly gentle when they took him into custody. We had met his wife at a team-building camping trip. They gave every appearance that they were a good Christian couple. She dressed very conservatively, and although she remained silent while they were there, she was clearly not happy. Right after his arrest, she told one of my coworkers that she was going to stand by her husband, and the Lord would see them through the challenges their marriage was facing. After his arraignment, when the full details of his offenses were spelled out, divorce papers were filed.